Hey guys, and welcome back to my pickups video for the month of August. And I will just admit right now, I'm sitting down unlike usually in these videos. I'm tired. I've been sick for a few days. My feet hurt, and I just wanted to sit down and be lazy. And I apologize for both the congestion and the notifications that keep popping up on my PS4. Happened in the last video that I did. Anyway, I'm going to try to shoot through these pickups pretty quick and just get on with it. So, I once again, I guess I kind of surprised myself. I got a little bit more than I expected I would this month, but that's never a bad thing, right? So, let's just go ahead and start off. First thing I want to show is a CD that I picked up. This is the, what does it say? Music for an Infinite Universe. It's by 65 Days of Static, and it is essentially the soundtrack for No Man's Sky, which I got this month. I'll show that later, but I did an unboxing video for it already. The music, most of this music was on YouTube, and I was able to listen to it one day before the game had come out, and I was just like blown away. I loved it. It's very atmospheric, instrumental style music, kind of rock and ambient and a little like techno kind of, well, not techno like dance, but really electronica style music. And I don't know, it's just a really cool collection of just noise that I love. And so I had to pick up the CD for No Man's Sky. Okay, now I typically like to move on to movies and stuff after music, and then I usually divide by DVD and Blu-ray. The occasional DVDs that I end up buying, stuff that's not available on Blu-ray. And this month, that's only one thing, but it's a sad thing for me to have the 8th and final season of Castle in my hands. The reason why this is sad to me, if you don't already know, one thing, Castle's one of my favorite shows of all time, but also this was the last season. The show was canceled, and it was canceled under kind of what I consider to be kind of some shitty circumstances. Stan Akatic here on the cover was going to leave the show. Another actress whose name I didn't look up, I was going to. Which is another, pretty major recurring character on the show. They were both going to leave, and so at first it looked like Castle was going to continue on with just Nathan Fillion and who knows who else. I guess I'm going to move again here. But shortly after it was announced that they were going to leave the show itself was canceled. Excuse me. And that's sad enough as it is. But I'm glad that the show didn't continue on without one of its major characters. But what disappointed me so much was reading later on that Nathan Fillion and Stan Akatic were actually not really on that good of terms. I don't know if it was that way the entirety of the show or if things fell apart later on. I really hate to hear that actors who portray characters on a show that I love were not friendly away from the screen. I mean, good on them for being such great caliber actors that they could continue the show even with those problems. But it just kind of destroys a little tiny bit of the magic for me. And with the end of Castle, that's basically none of my top at least 5 favorite TV shows are now currently airing. X-Files, Lost, Star Trek Next Generation, Castle, and Firefly are all now, done. They're over with. So my favorite shows that are out there are done and complete. Whatever we have is pretty much all we're ever going to have of those shows. That's sad. All right, well, I don't want to bog down any more time on that. Let's go on to the next pickup. And this is The Mechanic on Blu-ray, Jason Statham movie. I love Jason Statham. I have quite a few movies that he's done. Not as many of his more recent efforts, but stuff from like the mid to late 2000s. I have a lot of them. This was a movie that I just never did pick up. Well, because of the sequel, Mechanic Resurrection, that came out, according to this, probably just about 2 weeks ago. we got a bunch of random Jason Statham movies in, including this one. And this one was, I believe I paid $8 for this. I was like, I can't beat that. I'll pick it up. If I like it, then I'll look into the sequel when it comes out. Oh, my nose is so stuffed. Alright, this one, I went back and forth on whether I was going to buy this. Excuse me. Because I'm pretty sure I have this on DVD somewhere. But dang it, it's Weird Science. It's a classic. 80s comedy. Just a movie that I've always loved. And when we got these pop art covers, we got this whole section of really weird and random movies with new artwork done up in this pop art series. This was about the only one that I was like, for sure I had to get. And when they decided that this section was going to go away, I was just like, shoot, I'll get it. This was like $8.88. Not bad for a really good old classic movie on Blu-ray. And then this was a movie that I had no plans on buying, Project X on Blu-ray. This is an unopened copy of this movie. It was returned to my store, and I was going to go put it up on the shelf, make a label for it, and give it a week or two to see if it would sell. And when I scanned it, I saw that it was $3.74. Like, I can't pass up an under $4 Blu-ray movie, despite the fact that it's not really anything I would normally go for. It's just like some sort of party movie. But I like the fact that I can now say I own 2 Project X movies, because I have the original Project X movie with Matthew Broderick and Helen Hunt about the chimpanzee NASA, I think, like space experiment movie or whatever. It's a good old movie. Alright, here was something that I was really excited to get. This is the WWE Attitude Era Volume 3 Unreleased Collection. Basically just a bunch of matches and whatnot about like that come from the Attitude Era. Excuse me, I'm sorry for having to clear that out with my nose. So I was like, yeah, I got to get this. I got to order it. I got to keep up on these. I always get them when they come out. Except apparently I'm a dumbass because I don't have Volume 2. So I'm going to have to go and get Volume 2 at some point because I have Volume 3. Oh, and I guess I should point out that this one comes with a book that's in here. The Attitude Era's Greatest Matches in book form. That's kind of a weird thing to put in with a Blu-ray to watch something, and then they give you a book to look at pictures. Alright, next up is a movie that I've wanted to see pretty much ever since I saw this picture of this fucking gangster cat. I was just like, what is this? It's called Keanu. It's by Key and Peele, a comedy group. These two dudes from Comedy Central, I believe, is where their show or whatever is on. They do lots of really cool, funny stuff. I love their Barack Obama impression and stuff. And this movie is apparently about these two dudes whose cat gets catnapped, and somebody wants money from them, and they have to pretend like they're hardcore and they're like thugs and all that kind of stuff when they're not really. They're kind of a couple of pussies or whatever. I really wanted to have watched this already by this point. It's one of the movies I got this month that I wanted to watch right away, but of course it got clogged up in my constipation of what to watch and what to play and what to do. But soon, I will watch it soon. Now, this was a movie I pretty much just decided at the last minute I would go ahead and buy, and that is The Nice Guys with Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe. It's supposed to be pretty funny. I remember seeing reviews like Chris Stuckman's review on it, and I thought it sounded interesting, but I just didn't think I would take the plunge. And then it came out, and I was just like, screw it, I'll buy it. So I got that. I got this on the same day. This is The Huntsman, Winter's War, the sequel to Snow White and the Huntsman, which I haven't watched yet, but I do own it. Excuse me. And I don't know, I just kind of wanted to have the whole set, have both movies. So there's that. And then the last movie of the month, which is the one that just came out this last week, The Jungle Book, the new Disney live adaptation of the classic Jungle Book tale. I just heard pretty good things about this as well. Really good CG for the animals. a well-done live-action adaptation. So I decided to grab that. I was not expecting to get this agitated by my cold and allergy problems here while I was doing this. I guess it's just because of all the talking. So I'll try to fly through the game stuff maybe as quickly as I possibly can. So we'll start off with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 for the Wii. Why did I buy this? Because it was $10. These were clearance at my store. We've been sitting on them for years, and they got down to $10, so I picked one up. Always nice to at least put something new on the Wii shelf every once in a while. Then I have one Xbox 360 game. This is a game called Inversion. I saw this game being played on the Funhouse YouTube channel. This is a Steam version of it, but it was interesting. It wasn't necessarily a great game, but it had some cool concepts to it, and I decided I could pick that up, especially because I got it off of like Walmart.com through a third-party seller for $6. So, why not? And then I have one PS3 game. That's Gran Turismo 6. I was on the fence about this one, but it was $15, so I decided, well, why not? Simulation-style racing games are not my favorite. I like racing games that control easily, let you drift and slide and crash into stuff without completely messing you up. But Gran Turismo, even though it takes forever for new installments to come out, it is a really good series. And I think that's my second or third Gran Turismo game I have in my collection. And now on to my PS4 pickups for the month. First one I have here is called Nero, or Nothing Ever Remains Obscure. This one, it just captured me from the look of it. It has a really cool look. You can kind of see the artwork on the front and on the back. It's dark. It's kind of, I think it's sort of it's either a puzzle-ish style game, or it's a walking simulator game, or it's a combination of the two. But I really love finding these unusual PS4 games, and these are always like $20. Which is going to bring me to this one here, Among the Sleep. This is a horror game where you take on the perspective of a little toddler. First-person perspective as you travel around your home and discover scary things. And it's got a pretty deep overlying message to it. And this is a game that was actually like an early access Steam game a couple years ago, and it made the rounds for a bunch of Let's Players that I used to watch, and it was really interesting. I had no idea that this was going to get a physical release for PS4, so I jumped on it as soon as it came out this last month. Now, this was a game that I saw at a different Walmart other than the one that I work at, and it was about $15 on clearance, and I almost bought it the day that I was standing in the store looking at it. Instead, I decided to kind of look it up online and decide whether or not it was a game that I might ever play. Turns out it was. I liked what I saw for it, and I looked it up online. I was able to order it from Walmart.com for a little bit less than $50 and get my discount on it. So this is Tearaway Unfolded Crafted Edition. I believe this was originally a Vita game, and this was the PS4 port that they did for it. And then this had finally dropped to $20. It's Battlefield 4. I think it's kind of the controversial Battlefield that had a lot of problems when it launched originally. That was a long time ago. I've already played and enjoyed Battlefield Hardline. Since this had dropped down to a cheap price, I decided to get a copy of it. Probably would prefer it on computer for keyboard and mouse control, but my computer would not be able to handle this game. Battlefield 3 kind of chugged when I played it earlier this year or last year. And then the last thing to show is something I already mentioned before. I did on the unboxing video, but this is No Man's Sky. I got the limited edition for the PS4. So this is the box with the extra contents, and this is the steelbook case for the game itself. And Technomancer is inside there because I was playing No Man's Sky, so that's probably in a different case. But since I probably won't be ever completing that game, or at least not anytime real soon, just throw that into this video, that I enjoy the game. I've only played it two times, but one day it was like 3 or 4 hours. One day it was for like 9 hours. I do enjoy the game despite its repetitive nature. It's a lot of grinding. It's not really story based or doesn't have a lot of action, and there's a lot of controversy around it. And a lot of people are returning their games, especially digital versions. People are getting refunds on it, and I think that's just stupid. You, well, I'm not going to get too much into my opinion on that. I'm just really kind of put out with people right now and the way, especially the internet, treats game developers and all that kind of stuff. All I know is that for what it is, for what this game is, I enjoyed it. But like I said, I don't feel compelled to go finish it or try to get to the center of the universe. I feel more like this is still going to be a game that I play whenever I am whenever I am in between other games and I don't know what I want to play or what I want to start on next. So this is the kind of thing that you sort of sit down and fill your time with. It's like a Minecraft or any of those kind of games where there isn't necessarily a point at the end of the whole thing. It's just to kind of explore the universe and get lost in the vastness of it all. So anyway, that's my thoughts. I don't want to take up any more time here. My nose is telling me that I need to get going. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next month with more pickups.